What is going on, everyone? Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the StreamYard Studios live here on YouTube. I want to go ahead and just welcome you guys into the StreamYard Studios. In case you guys don't know what StreamYard is, it is the perfect platform for you to get a chance to make up interviews, business meetings, and plus they have a great deal of variety of plans. So if you guys want to get a chance to, there is a free plan. I got a chance to do that the first time when I got a chance to be able to do the interviews such as that. And not only that, they also have a $20 plan, which you can get a chance to do your logos and whatnot. And it is very, very incredible to say the least. So yeah, make sure you guys head on over to StreamYard.com. First of all, let's go ahead and send out our big shout outs. First of all, let's go ahead and send a shout out to RGMFX1.com. Use code Fight Now to save 10% off your entire purchase. You guys go ahead and check out the Fighting Now merchandise. I know we've been having some incredible people buying some gear, so make sure you guys check that out. RMGFX1.com. And of course, I can't stress this enough, but yet we did have the Jay and Trey podcast today. It was incredible. We had Ashley Molina. Tomorrow's show, not going to be really live. It's pretty much more of a recording, but it's going to be Justin and Trey. By the time that they started recording this, I already had an interview last night with Emily Keck. So that either way, even if I'm not part of the show, I do encourage you guys to go check it out tomorrow, 10 a.m. Eastern time. If you guys even type in, obviously it's recorded, to say the least. And also, real quick, I gotta send this promotion a shout out because the individual that's going to be joining me later on has pretty much made history with this promotion. So let's go ahead and send a huge shout out to Extreme Fight Nation. Extreme Fight Nation has more events coming up. I know they're having another event next weekend. And of course, if you guys want to get to check them out at XFN on Instagram or Extreme Fight Nation on Instagram. And of course, they also have a YouTube page full of amazing fights. They have incredible fights. And of course, excuse me, sorry about that. Talking about the big fight that that went down a couple weeks ago, back on January 29th, and yet we'll get to that later on. And yet, shout out to XFN. I know they've been posting some incredible events, to say the least. I encourage you guys to go and check them out. All right, first of all, let's go ahead and talk about our upcoming guest. But before we get a chance to do that, let's go ahead and send a shout out to all of our incredible podcasters out there. And yet we have the one and only Mom's Basement MMA. You guys go ahead and check them out. Moms_Basement MMA. They've been doing so many interviews. They've been doing so many incredible things, to say the least. And I'm very, very excited to get a chance to have them alongside. And I know we're trying to be able to get some stuff coming up. So if you guys want to get a chance to follow them, check them out at Moms_Basement MMA. And of course, if you guys can check them out on YouTube, Mom's Basement MMA. Next up, Liz with a Z podcast. She's been doing so many incredible things. I mean, obviously, she got a chance to fight back at XFN, and I know she's still working on a little bit of the podcast stuff. So I encourage you guys to go check it out, Liz with a Z podcast. And last but certainly not least, we talked about Air Media and Productions, and they got a lot more in store. My apologies, y'all trying to be able to get some. But anyway, though, y'all get a chance to check out In the Booth by Air Media Productions. They have so much coming your way. I encourage you guys to go check them out. Check all these incredible podcasts out on YouTube, on Instagram, or whatever it is available for you to listen to your podcast at. All right, ladies and gentlemen, coming up is a woman who got a chance to be part of the first ever XFN Women's Heavyweight Bout. Lisa Sun taking on Lisa Solar. And I gotta say, for these two women to be able to make incredible history, such as this night was, and if you guys have not got a chance to watch the fight, check them out on Extreme Fight Nation on YouTube. They've been doing so many incredible things, and they wanted to raise the bar. They wanted to raise the bar to be able to do something incredible. I remember, I think it was like back in December, they made the announcement that, hey, or back in like November, either one of the events, and they said, hey, we're going to do something that we want to do. We're going to have Lisa Sun taking on Lisa Solar and a first ever women's heavyweight bout. And I got to say, I watched the fight and the crowd enjoyed it. I enjoyed it, and they did something that not too many people can be able to go and do. That's go in there and fight. I mean, this was just an incredible fight, to say the least. But at the end, it was Lisa Sun that got the victory. And I know she's excited to be able to get a chance to talk about it. I know she's ready to be able to get a chance to talk about these amazing fights. and we get a chance to talk to her with her journey. And there's so much more that we get a chance to be able to do here. So hopefully, once when she's ready, we'll get a chance to have Lisa Sun get a chance to join me. And with that being said, I'm really excited because this week has been an incredible week full of interviews and also an incredible week full of fights. So yeah, I have a huge announcement that I will make on my Instagram page. You guys can get a chance to follow me at The Fighting Now. It is an amazing page. It is an awesome page. Thank you to all 3,450 followers of you guys. I appreciate y'all very, very much. And the thing is that today is I've always wanted to get a chance to have a three straight interview, and you know what? It's gonna be awesome. But hey, let's go ahead and cut the chitty chat. So let's go ahead and help me welcome into the StreamYard studio the one, the only, Miss Lisa Sun.
Hi.
Hello, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I am doing good. Welcome into the StreamYard studio. You have been very busy lately, haven't you?
Uh, somewhat.
So let's.
Yes.
Well, I'll go ahead and post up to the graphic. You got a chance to make history by becoming one of the two in the first ever XFN Women's Heavyweight Bout Kickboxing bout, I believe is what it was. And I gotta say, congrats to you and Lisa
Thank
Solar
you.
on making history. And and I was telling them is that I know the emotions had to run high, the build up for this fight. And before this fight even happened, what was going through your mind once when this was announced?
Um, so I've been training for 7 years, under Dia Davis, and um, so I always wanted to fight, and Dia, he trains at a lot of fighters at American Top Team, and we looked for opponents for myself for a long time, and we couldn't find anyone. And then I felt like maybe I'm just training to train and not necessarily fight, but in my heart, I was like, this is the goal. Like, I want to show what I'm made of because I train hard. And, even if I'm not training for a fight camp, I still give it everything I got. So when it was announced, I actually hit up the matchmaker and I said, hey, I see this girl at a lot of events and, you know, it looks like we're about the same weight class, something over 200. Like, would she be interested in fighting me? And he came back and he's like, yeah, and I was like, I weigh a lot. Um, and I have a lot of muscle, so like anything over 205 or whatever. And he's like, yeah, absolutely. So it was announced, and then we were actually at one of their shows. XFN puts on amazing shows. I go to mostly all of them because my teammates are fighting. And Danny was there, and he's like, hey, you
I
like
think.
doing hello,
Yeah, I was about to say, you there?
sorry, I think my timer's on. Sorry, can I
Uh,
shut it off? 1 second.
yeah,
Sorry,
you go
sorry,
ahead.
sorry.
Make sure you put your phone on Do Not Disturb mode because it can happen in case you have like
Okay,
phone
I'm
calls,
back. Sorry.
messages. Y'all good, y'all good.
What'd you say?
But good. I was gonna say if I was you, I'd put your phone on Do Not Disturb
Okay,
so way you will have
1 second.
you, you'll have to
I'm
leave and come
trying to
back.
fix this. Okay. Can you hear
You have
me?
to. Yeah, can you hear me? Hey,
Um,
hang on, hang on. Where's the chat at? Yeah. Hang on, restart. All right, my apologies, ladies and gentlemen. Your browser. All right. I hope she can get a chance to see. I can't hear you. I can't hear you. No. Read the chat. Read the chat. Okay. All right. So we're having some technical difficulties, but yet I know she has to restart her browser. Trust me, I've had one too many difficulties when it comes to this, especially when it comes to the Jay and Trey podcast. So like that, before I do any interviews, I play the music to make sure, and then just to be safe, I have to make sure I restart my browser just to be able to say, hey, you know what? Let's go. So attempt number two.
okay.
All right.
Sorry
Uh,
about that. I shut the mic
it-
off. I had an alarm set so that I was on time.
You're good. You're good. So like I was telling them, it's like StreamYard. It's like if you have like an alert or something like that, you can end up hearing things like slow motion.
Oh,
So so you'll have to restart your browser, and then so way everything can be better.
okay. So
But let's get back to where you
so
were
pretty
talking
much
about.
I was at an event like in September, and he's like, "Oh, Lisa's going to be here too because she's interviewing. Let's do a face off." And that was, I was actually cornering one of my teammates, and I was like, "Okay." And I went back and I asked one of my friends and coaches, I was like, "What do I do? Do I smile? Do I like be friendly or whatever?" So it came pretty natural, and we did our first face off in September, and then like we had a few months to train. So yeah.
Well, I mean, I gotta say, you definitely have an incredible heart as a warrior, and I know you had to spend a lot of time training. I mean, how much did you put in for this huge fight?
Well, I typically would normally train 6 days a week, but then on top of that, I added in yoga and I also added in strength and conditioning 3 days a week. So there, usually about 7 to 8 times a week, I was training.
So you pretty much put in a lot of effort to say the
Yeah.
least. And I mean, when you talked about you training for so long, I mean, and I gotta ask you, there's been like anytime when something gets announced, whenever it's a fight or anything, what was going through your mind to finally say, hey, like this is my time, this is my final time to finally get a chance to fight? I mean, what was the emotions like?
I was super happy. I was excited. Um, One of my best friends actually passed away in April, and he was probably one of my biggest encouragers. And I just put all that energy towards winning, and like I didn't let any negative thoughts come in my mind because people want to say, "Oh, if you win," or "Oh, if this," and I was like, "No, I'm winning. Like I was born to win." Like like, and so I really, there was a lot of emotions too. My older brother Doug was battling cancer, and he was in chemo and radiation my whole fight camp. So just trying to like just focus on myself. I just remember a guy named Tony hitting me up and saying, "Lisa, you're always so loving and so caring about everyone else. And at this point, this is your time. You need to focus on yourself and remove anyone that's negative out of your life." And that's exactly what I did. I honestly, in my heart, like, I'm a Christian and it says, like, delight yourself in the Lord and he'll give you the desires of your heart. And that's exactly what he did. And I'm very thankful to have God on my side, and just really train hard. Like, I don't play around. Like, I love to train. It's a passion of mine and it's been amazing to do it.
Yeah, yeah, and you know what? With the history with XFN, which by the way, once again, shout out to Extreme Fight Nation. Did you ever thought that you was going to be part of something huge as this? I mean, this was like a huge history moment for both you and Lisa Solar, to say the least.
Um, Surprise, no, but thankful, yes. Like, I think that, like, for me it's always been about like pursuing what makes me happy, and like, and the passions I have, and like if I continue to pursue those things are going to be answered, whether it's 5 years, 7 years, 1 year. Like, I think just giving it everything I had, and just want I was so thankful. I was the Dan told me that I was the highest amateur seller of all the tickets, and I had over 85 tickets sold. And everyone that I love, my family, my friends, my best friend flew in from actually Washington State. My brother came down from Gainesville. Like, my dad, who's never been to any of my trainings, I asked him like all the time for 7 years. He's like, "You're crazy. Why are you to have to fight? Why did the He actually came to my fight. So knowing that all these people were there to support me, and for it to be such a big platform, I was very thankful. And they're great people.
Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, I want to get a chance to bring you up to the weigh in and of course the fight day. I
Uh-huh.
mean, there was so much animosity. There's so much that was going through your mind. How did you handle as far as the mental part of training, especially before the weigh in, of course, this huge fight?
So the weigh-in was pretty easy to me. Unfortunately, I think there was some miscommunication because she was 215 and I was 248 at that day. Um, I was honest with, like, the matchmaker and the promoter, saying that that's like, I was actually 256 at one point and I dropped to 248. I was 246. I ate a big lunch, but 248, so it was pretty cool to like actually do this. Like I just remember like this is actually happening. Like I have a girl in front of me that we're gonna fight. Like, she's gonna try to take my head off. I'm gonna try to take her head off. Like I'm prepared, like and all that. So honestly, it was awesome. I had one of my good friends from training, Mike, with me, and my best friend Christine, and that's all we needed. And like she's very big in the fight industry because she does like the interviews afterwards. But I don't need the hype. Like I'm there to fight. I'm not there necessarily to make friends. If I do along the way, great. But at the end of the day, I was there for business. And you know like I think it was just, unfortunately, she was misinformed about my weight, but she could have said something. Unfortunately, it is what it is. We took the fight like we wanted to fight. But on fight day, it was I was at peace. Like, my coach drove in from Maryland. I had Dylan there with me, O'Sullivan. They're both professional athletes, and they're great guys. They've put a lot into me too. I joined Hard Knocks like 2.5 years ago because I actually was a foster mom, and my gym in Boca was too far. So I had to tell my coach, like, hey, I have to go to another gym. And he was like shocked, but I had to do it during that time. And so I started training there 2.5 years ago. I didn't necessarily like kicking. They would be like, Lisa, you should stop boxing and start kicking more. It's kickboxing. And I'm like, no. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, so the day of the fight, I felt so peaceful, to tell you the truth. It was just like a peace that only comes from God. And I just had my headphones on. I was listening to my music and just kind of going outside and just thanking God, like, God, this is what you made me to do. And, I'm going to do this to the best of my ability. And I'm going to walk out like with my hand held high.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And but we're going ahead and talk about the fight. And yet, while you was fighting, and I seen before, during the fight, I had some footage being shown by Jared Parker, I think his name. Shout out to him, by the way. And the crowd gave both of y'all a standing motivation. I mean, did you ever expected the crowd to be as hyped up as it was during the fight?
I was just, it was my family and friends, like they were probably more emotional than I was, but it was cool to just feel the love, and feel like everything that I worked hard for all these years, like to come into fruition and like, be able to do that. It was incredible. It was something that I will never forget.
Yeah, absolutely. And whenever you first stepped into the cage, how was the emotions work? Because you had to have a lot of adrenaline. You had to have a lot that was going through your mind, to say the least. I mean, just take us through, once we stepped into the cage for the first time to finally get a chance to fight.
I stepped in the cage, and my coach, Dylan, actually said, take 3 deep breaths. So I took 3 deep breaths, and I was bouncing around, just waiting for the bell to ring. And then the bell rang, and I was like, let's go.
I can definitely tell, first to say the least, and yet you got a chance to win. I don't know if it was by like split decision or
It was actually unanimous or
unanimous.
unanimous. Yeah.
Unanimous decision, yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, once when you finally got a chance to get the win, I mean, how did it feel that all the training, all the effort, all that you had to put through, especially moving to a different camp, like you said 2 years ago, finally get a chance to have that work being paid off?
Honestly, it was probably the someone was like, this is probably the best feeling you're ever going to feel. And I said, actually, the best feeling knowing that Jesus is my Lord and Savior is the number one feeling. But that was the second best feeling in the whole world. I just remember getting the trophy. And actually, after the win, I just dropped to my knees and I was like, thank you, God. Like, and just like there's a picture of them like putting the trophy on me. And I was like, but it was incredible. I fought my heart out, like it was just something I was prepared for. I have to give a shout out to Symmetry Fitness, Ahmed and Bader. They literally tried to kill me during training camp, and like they pushed me to my max every day I walked in the gym. And shout out to a lot of my coaches. They all gave me privates leading up to the fight for free, and just they wanted to see me win too. And I have a big team behind me, and I'm very thankful for D. Marquez, Dylan O'Sullivan, Keeman, Sean Soriano trained me. Like, you know, a lot of people stepped up and just helped me out. Devin Dixon. So it was really incredible. Brandon Sanford and Goose Anthony Michael are at Boca Boxing District along with Daya. They were always there for me as well. So I just am very thankful for everyone.
And I can definitely tell you is that this was not only obviously not the first women's bout of the card. You got a chance to be you and Lisa Solar got a chance to be on the card, such as Lisa Golden taking on Ashley Molina,
Yeah.
and such as many other incredible fights. How did it feel to get a chance to be a part of such a stacked card that XFN 40 was?
It was great. It actually was their first pro card as well, so it was a first in a lot of ways. But it felt great. I've been to many shows and I've seen a lot of these up and coming fighters fight, and you know they're very talented. And I was just waiting for my turn, you know, waiting to just uh just show all my skills and my heart, you know.
Yeah, absolutely. And Joe, once we got a chance to step into the arena, I mean, as a fighter, as finally a fighter, how did the environment felt to you once when you walk in there and you put on the gloves and you start getting that mindset? I mean, how did the emotions run through you once before you stepped into that cage? I mean, you obviously felt calm, obviously, but was there a lot of excitement? Was there something that you just like, okay, just go ahead and get me out to that cage already. Just go ahead and get me out there.
Well, it's funny that you say that. We fought exactly at 5:30 because after the third fight a girl went and then we thought we were going, so we started warming up, and then right away the lady's like, oh, there's a 15-minute intermission, we're going to start at 5:30. So I had some time. Pops actually wrapped my hands and he was trying to give me some advice, and then, you know, I honestly was at peace, and I felt very confident and comfortable. Like the guys that I spar with, they're all very fast and very explosive, and I'm the only girl on my team at Hard Knocks, and so it wasn't something new to me stepping into something that's hype, you know, like so it was just a great feeling. I felt very confident. I felt very complete. Like, you know, I did my training camp well. I ate clean. I took my vitamins. I went to bed at 10 o'clock. You know what I'm saying? Like I did the best that I could.
And you know what? Now that you finally get a chance to be able to, like I mentioned before, you can guys go onto youtube.com/Extreme Fight Nation,
Yes.
and you can get a chance to look back on this. Looking back on this fight, hang on, hang on.
Okay.
I keep hearing static for some reason. I don't know if it's me or what.
I hear it too, but it's not there anymore.
Okay, but yeah, hey, real quick. So we do have a question for you. This is from Kristen Gifford, who was in the comments earlier. Don't know if that's me. Hang on, I don't know what's happening, but
Okay.
she said, "Heck yeah, this is so awesome. What, way to go? What to go after? What, what to go after what you want? I have no idea what's happening. 1 second.
Okay.
My apologies. My apologies.
I think it's better now.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, sorry about that. I don't know where the static is coming from. I don't know what's happening, but Kristen Gifford wanted to tell you this is so awesome. Way to go after what you want is what she said.
Oh, thank you so much. You know, when you have a desire and a passion and a gift and a dream, I would definitely encourage every person, man or female, to go after it. You know, like um, there's always like something to go after, and I think it's better when you better yourself. You know, so
Yeah.
yeah, that's awesome. Thank you so much.
Well, back to what I was trying to say before some sort of static happened is that, and I'm going to ignore it while I can. I don't know what's happening, but yeah, this is what she meant. She said, "Way to go after what you want." She meant what she said.
Mm-hmm.
But back to what I was saying is that now you get a chance to look back on youtube.com/extreme fight extreme fight nation. How does it feel to get a chance to be able to finally get a chance to have that training off and get a chance to focus on something else that you're looking forward to? I mean, have you learned anything from this experience?
Yeah, I feel like it was so funny. I think everything was leading up to the fight. So I went through Christmas and like Thanksgiving and then like the New Year's and then like the fight was at the end of the month. So I was finally like, thank God it's almost here, but just wanting to get to that point because it was a lot of hard training, a lot of sacrifice, a lot of going to bed and waking up early and I worked full time during the whole fight camp as well. I'm a nanny actually to two little girls, and so it wasn't, and that can be very mentally draining. So it's not that, I had it something easy, like even family and friends and everything that they're going through. So I kind of had to like put it in compartments and like when it was time to train, it was time to train, all the focus there. And when it was time to recover, it's all time to recover. I want to say thank you to Gemini Rising for the yoga. It was incredible and just got me flexible and got me to go like just be at peace.
Yeah, absolutely. And I want to tell you that I think the static finally stopped. So my apologies for that.
No, it's okay.
But the thing is, though, is that you got the fact that you get a chance to be able to say, and here it comes again. I don't know what happened, but just go ignore it. But you got a chance to finally be back at history, and now you can be able to say, hey, let's look back on what I did for the first time ever, which was being part of the first ever SFN women's heavyweight bout. And you have so much. You have the medal that they give out to the fighters, and I think
You
you'll
want to
look
see it?
back at it. Go right ahead. Yeah, absolutely.
Hey.
There it is, and it's beauty thanks to XFN right
Yeah, it's
there.
really nice. It's solid.
All say so, but I think everyone is wondering what is next for you.
Okay, so yeah, everyone is wondering that. I so my goal was to fight. I am going on a little vacation this weekend, and then in May, one of my best friends is getting married as well. And then I'm just gonna think about it and pray and talk to my coaches and see like actually a few different promoters, three of them already hit me up asking if I would fight for them. And I most likely will stay with XFN just because they're great and well put together. And the fight arena was 5 minutes from my house, so that was great. But so they were thinking maybe something in August. So um I want to get through like these vacations and enjoy them and you know what I'm saying, like all that stuff.
Yeah.
But if I did do another training camp, I'd start on June 1st, and then I would be fighting probably in August, like the later of August. But right now I'm just chilling. I'm still working out, still eating clean. Today was actually my first day back at the boxing gym, Boca Boxing District, and it was incredible. I felt really good. I think I let my body rest, and I was doing strength and conditioning for the last few weeks, but today to go back and actually punch something and someone was incredible, and I felt great.
Yeah, absolutely. And once again, my apologies for the stutter, for the
No,
static.
no
And
worries.
I mean, it's just like I don't know what happened, but it's gone away to say the least. And I
Yes.
think once when you get a chance to go out to the vacation, I think at least say not worried about the training part, not worried about this. You're just trying to get a chance to have some you time and just enjoy
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
So where do they head to as far as vacation?
I'm actually, so one of my best friends, her dad is sick with cancer, and he asked me to come visit him. And so I'm hoping that he'll be okay till Friday. And I'm going to go to Chicago for a few days. It's
Ooh.
so cold there. I'm like a Florida girl. And so I heard it's like 25 there. I'm like, woohoo.
Oh Lord! With where I'm from in West Virginia, I mean, it's. I can honestly tell you, if you come down to what people call the armpit of America, it is the most bipolar state you would ever
I
meet.
know. Oh, you're
One
telling
day,
me.
one day it could be sunny, and then tomorrow it can end up being raining to snow, and then it can be back to sunny again. I'm like, make up your
Yes.
mind. Make up your
Yeah,
mind to
South
say,
Florida is pretty bipolar. It's like the Powerball, 29, 28,
oh
50,
God.
this, 70, 91.
Oh man, but see, this is why I'm thankful I'm a Gemini because I'm ready for the hot weather and I'm ready for the summertime, to say the least. But hey, I'm very excited to see what is next to come
Thank
because
you.
you are a tremendous fighter. You're going to do incredible things. I think
Thank you. Thank you.
after the fight, I mean, you just need to keep on doing what you do best, just being yourself. Doing all that you can because I think once when people look back at this fight, it's like, hey, remember the first time that we had the first ever women's kickboxing bout between the two Lisas, and it's like that's gonna be the moment that I think you'll definitely cherish forever in your life, to say the least.
Yes. Yes, it was very incredible. Thank you so much for this interview. I actually saw Lisa. I was cornering one of my teammates on Saturday for combat night, and I saw Lisa, and we did get to talk and stuff like that. And it's just nothing but respect, you know. Like during the fight, it was crazy. I don't know where it came from, but like I clinched her and I called her like the B word, and then after the fight, I'm like, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to do that. But it was honestly, I think it was just built up raw emotions, and like, you know, it's not something I do on the regular, you know, like, but I did apologize. Like, it was, she's a very nice girl. We were respectful the whole time. Like, you know, I do have to give her credit there. And, you know, at the end of the day, like, this is part of it. Like, you're gonna, you know.
Yeah, and I think it really, truly, and it's coming back again. Don't know what's going on, but to say the least. But the fact is that I can understand from your point of view. It's like if you are doing something, whether if it's fighting or whether if it's playing football, whatever it may be, and you try your best to be as respectful as you can. But
Mhm.
when you get involved with the action, you end up letting all that adrenaline get to you,
Yeah.
and you end up saying something that you didn't mean to. I mean,
Yeah.
kind of wish you had like a censor button in life, but unfortunately we don't.
Yeah.
And it's just like, like I could be looking at my neighbor, I'm like, hey, what's up, beep? And I'm like, oh, something like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I know you didn't mean to say the least. But I really think that the best is yet to come. And
Thank
by the
you.
way, in case you guys do want to get a chance to follow her, I didn't mean to push that. Fat finger, to say the least. But if you guys want to get a chance to follow her, make sure you guys get a chance to follow her on Instagram, Lisa Sun 31. Is there any other social media platform that you have for everyone to follow?
um that's the one I use primarily. So yeah, but thank you so much for the shout out.
No problem, no problem. And once again, can't stress enough. Shout out to XFN, Extreme
Yes.
Fight Nation. They have another event coming up next weekend. I know you guys need to check that out. Head on over to
Yeah.
Extreme Fight Nation on Instagram, to say the least. Before we hop
Yes.
off the air, is there any final comments you want to say before? Hello?
Um, I could just say thank you. You know, I have to just give credit to my church, Coastal Community Church, for all the people that have been praying for me and just hoping the best. And, you know, my family and friends for coming and supporting me, my teammates, Remy, Ricardo, Andrew, Kalijah. A lot of my teammates really stepped up during my fight camp to help me train Southpaw for Lisa, and, you know, all my coaches. And I feel like I had an army behind me, and I was very thankful for it. So that's it. That's it.
Well, once again, guys, make sure to follow her at least it's on 31. And I apologize for the technical difficulties. We
It's
don't know
okay.
what's happened.
No big deal.
But hey, make sure you guys get a chance to follow her, and then tomorrow we get a chance to have another first-time fighter because you went to Combat Night said, well, we're getting ready to have one of those fighters from the female side, first-time fighting. That's gonna be joining me tomorrow morning. It's gonna be a lot of fun. Lisa, thank you so much for joining me. Hope you
Yes.
have a great
Thank
day.
you.
And, yep, enjoy the day.
All right. Take care. Bye bye.
Later. Don't know what really happened right there, to say the least. I apologize for the technical difficulties. And it's been incredible. It's been awesome, to say the least. But hey, that is it. We finally got done 1, 2, 3 interviews. Shout out to Ashley Molina, Kristen Gifford, and of course Lisa Sun for joining me. Don't know what really happened as far as the technical difficulty side. I will make sure I fix that up. But either way, though, if you guys like what you see, make sure you guys head on over to youtube.com/the fighting now. And of course, make sure to subscribe and click on the notification bell so you don't miss out on any incredible interviews such as this one. We got one more tomorrow. Then I think might take a break for the weekend because I have a lot of stuff I got to do. But either way, if you guys like what you see, head on over to youtube.com and subscribe. But hey, until tomorrow, I am Jake saying so long, and we'll see you guys later on tomorrow.